Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Gallagher and welcome back into an all new episode of Challenge to Champion. I'm back after that lengthy hiatus due to my own battle with COVID 19, but thankfully that is behind me. At least the big parts are, and I'm starting to get truly back to normal. And I am so happy to be back being able to film these episodes for you guys that I hope inspire you in the midst of challenging times as well. This fifth episode in the series is going to be about acceptance. Acceptance of everything that goes on in each and every one of our lives is absolutely crucial to happiness and future success. If we can't accept what comes our way, our chances of being able to smile through challenging times and ultimately come through those same challenging times with a smile on our face and head held high once we're through them is very much a question. Now, part of that I know from just what I recently went through with my own bout with COVID 19, but also even more because of having to contend with it based on a lifetime of living with cerebral palsy. Finding acceptance for me has always been a should I, shouldn't I tug of war. Now, more often than not, as most people that know me can attest to, I've been good at accepting things and being able to take things in stride and be happy that I've been able to overcome things. However, sometimes life just grabs a hold of us and the difficult parts just cling to us like a bad habit. That's happened to me a lot in life. I want to take you back to a handful of challenges that I endured related to my CP as I was at the forefront of this journey I'm still on towards ultimate independence. Some of those challenges might seem easy to outsiders, but to me, they were defining on that journey to independence. And I say easy to outsiders from the perspective of not everybody knows what it ultimately is like to live with challenges like I do. And although people are gracious, supportive, loving, caring, courageous, and they do their best to understand, ultimately, that's something that just can never be completely understood by somebody that doesn't live this life. And that alone has led to moments that it's hard to accept that I have to contend with these things from time to time because I'm not able to just talk to somebody and have them completely get everything that I'm talking about, whether I'm happy about something or concerned. For a long time, that was very difficult for me to reconcile with the fact that, okay, on one side here, there's so many people that love, care, and understand me as a person and my situation, and they're there for me. No questions asked, and they're people that are happy to be there for me. But then, and this is the part of me that still, even after 27 years, deals with slight insecurity. I think about, well, what do I do to help make it easier on myself? Because relying on people doesn't come easy for me, even now. So, the big thing that I try to do is just realize that these experiences I've had to endure, they're not meant to knock me back a step or two, or even down completely. Obstacles are just meant to knock me and anybody else that goes through them off balance a little bit so that we're forced to look at our lives from this almost outside perspective instead of just constant tunnel vision, look at a specific goal and go for it, and not have a care in the world of what any potential consequences might be of that go forward with blinders on type of mentality. That acceptance for me, though, is even harder because my challenges, I can easily take steps towards improvement, but actually seeing tangible pieces of improvement that can be put in place where life was once a challenge, that's a lot harder. And that's because I live with this day to day. I live with a sore body, sore muscles. I live with having to always be thinking 3 to 5 steps ahead, especially at this time of year when it's cold out and even a strong gust of wind could knock me over when I'm walking, let alone the potential of slipping and falling while walking in snow or getting stuck in my wheelchair in the snow. Independence and acceptance. Two things I'm striving to become a professional at. I'm a lot closer to that in independence. The acceptance is hard for me because that means I'll have to recognize some of the all out, agonizingly painful times I've made I've made it through in my past. And that's not scary per se, but it's hard to trust that I'm truly past those hard times. And I say that because hard times follow me every single day. They're just, thankfully, minimal. And I've been good at managing them, but I have not figured out a way to take complete control of the hard times. So for right now, managing them and doing the best I can to simply do that is the best I can do right now. And you know what? That's okay. That is absolutely okay. Taking a look now at what I contended with based off of my own COVID diagnosis earlier this month, the most significant symptom that I had was severe body and muscle aches. And that just absolutely compounded my CP pain and challenges that I dealt with that. So based on those experiences, everything for me just felt like it snowballed in those experiences. And it was like, oh really, I'm stuck with even more pain and discomfort. And yeah, now I'm starting to get back to normal, and I'm grateful for it, but the body pain and discomfort is still, on a certain level, excessive. And that's hard because I don't want to take a step back. People that know me know I'm stubborn when it comes to my independence. I don't ask for help easily, and especially being in quarantine like I was for 2 weeks over the month of November, having to completely rely on others was a very foreign concept to me. But I made it through, and now I look at how can I take those lessons to be better in the future. That's how I look at accepting things. My challenges will never go away, but I can manage them. That one statement, they won't go away, but I can manage them, is acceptance all its own. Now, I don't have time to go through every possible scenario of acceptance that I could possibly find, because believe me, as a guy with the kinds of challenges that I deal with, but also the outstanding experiences that I get to take on, everything I go through requires acceptance And that's because everything I go through is done at least slightly different than the vast majority of the people I'm close to and around on a daily basis, and even strangers too. The way I have to go about my life simply to achieve that concept of independence is its own race, and it carries its own expectations and its own measures that need to be accepted for ultimate success to be reached. So let me take it to all of you who may not have challenges like this, but in these challenging times that the entire world is dealing with, and just generally challenging times, or even when you're happy and life is truly going great for you. Acceptance is a necessity, but it's also a gift. If I was the type that couldn't accept things that happened to me, I wouldn't be able to say that I'm even on the road to success, let alone that I've been able to be successful. Accepting acceptance can sometimes be absolutely brutal. And sometimes that hurts worse than actually going through whatever hard times you're actually trying to accept. Whether it's something you just freshly conquered, or it's a experience that has turned into a skeleton in the back of your closet. Acceptance allows each and every one of us to start healing and moving on. What I went through with CP growing up, and now just recently with COVID, and each experience having to bounce back from that in my own way, that's nerve-wracking. There's no way around it. But I've been able to realize the difficulties are meant to show us how strong we really are, and put out blueprints for us to really be able to rebuild whatever broke throughout those hard times. For me, in this COVID diagnosis and having the extended levels of pain, it was, oh man, I might lose a lot of the physical independence progress I've made over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And in terms of my CP, now with it being beyond Thanksgiving and the weather's cold and it's just challenging and hard to get around for me in these cold months. Anyway, it really falls on me to say, you know what? I've dealt with this for 27 years. I'm already a pro. I already have a guidebook on how to handle this stuff. Now, the chapter on dealing with the extended pain levels from COVID, that's fresh. And I haven't had a chance to necessarily master that part yet. But I can just look back on everything else and say, you know what? I've done it before. I've came back through a lot worse than severe body aches brought on by a situation that nobody in the world ever expected to contend with. And that goes for both COVID and cerebral palsy, as well as any other health ailments that people deal with. Nobody grows up thinking that I'm gonna have to conquer health ailments. It's something that is bestowed upon them, and with giving a new reality, they are forced to say, how can I turn this into the best opportunity I possibly can? That's where acceptance comes in. Once we accept, we can persevere. Once we accept, we can persevere. That is the key. Acceptance leads to perseverance. It's not gonna be easy. A lot of you may go through hard times that are easier than the types I've had to contend with myself. But some of you also may deal with even harder ones than I've had to deal with. But always keep in mind, the acceptance is the key leading you to that ultimate perseverance. When that would come, I have no idea. Everybody's different. And for me, I'm still finding ways to truly, completely, courageously, and faithfully accept circumstances in my life. Because, as I said before, I'm stubborn and independent. I'm stubbornly independent, but I'm also wholeheartedly determined and courageous. Those two characteristics, too, they can only come to the forefront of life when acceptance is planted in your soul and given time to flourish. Because once acceptance flourishes, you can start to sort through the clutter that was challenges and hard times. And then once you get a handle on, oh, this is how this hard time made me feel, or this is how this difficult experience impacted people around me and potentially hurt them, then you could start to say, okay, I'm behind it. How do I move on? And how do I help others that were potentially impacted in that same situation move on as well? And then hopefully everyone can start on that journey towards perseverance. For me, I'm happy to be on that journey. And I'm happy I've got a lot of determined, courageous, loving, faithful, awesome, and independent people around me on that journey as well. It's one I'm proud to take. And as challenging as life with permanent obstacles are, I am so grateful that I've been able to accept them, and I can now say I am truly ready to persevere, and in the coming months and years, when more roadblocks are put right in front of me, I'm ready to do what I need to do to knock those down, get past them, accept them, and continue on the wonderful trip that is persevering through life and ultimately crossing that finish line and realizing I, Andrew Gallinger, have reached full independence. Acceptance will get me there, and acceptance can and will get you there too. I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families amidst all these crazy times. Once again, I am so happy to be able to be back with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode on acceptance. Please let me know what you think, and tune in next week for an all-new episode of Challenge to Champion. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will talk to you again next time.